welcome to Wayzata High School for Lake Conference Volleyball, the conference opener, and a good one for you tonight. It's number 5 ranked Hopkins against number 4 ranked Wayzata as these teams renew their rivalry. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Andy Gugasberg. We've had some good matchups over the years, and right now both programs at a pretty high level coming in.
Absolutely. I mean, back when these two were in the same section, I don't know how many times we sat in the Benilde gym and watched one of them go to state and the other one walk out with tears in their eyes. They've split to new sections, but the rivalry is still as strong as ever. We have the number 4 and number 5 teams in the state in one gym for an early season matchup. I'm excited to see what it looks like at the end of the day.
Hopkins was in the state tournament a year ago. Undefeated this year, although haven't been tested quite as much as Wayzata has with the competition level.
Yeah, I mean, Wayzata has traveled to Lakeville South where they lost to a very, very good, I believe they're number 2 in the state right now, Cougar team. Lost to them again in the finals in Marshall on Saturday. Other than that, they've been untested the rest of the way. They're rolling through some teams. Hopkins had a tough one to start the season. They won in 5 at their home court, and since then it's been sweeps across the board. Good volleyball on both sides. It's fun to see what these two teams are going to bring to each other.
Obviously, they both hope to get better by the end of the year, but I agree, nothing wrong with seeing where you're at right now in mid-September, too.
Yeah, absolutely true. We want to test early. Talking with a bunch of college coaches over the last month or so, they challenge big early so they can figure it out, because since they've split into 2 different sections, both of these teams theoretically can make it to state down to the Excel in November, and that's really what both of them have marked on their calendar already.
Talk about key players in this one, and a couple of players who've been pretty dominant over their careers, starting with Hopkins and Jasmine Martin.
Jasmine Martin was recently ranked, I believe she was somewhere in the top 20 with Prep Volleyball Senior Aces, meaning she's projected to be one of the top 20 kids in the freshman class next year. And dude, without question, that's an accurate statement. The kid touches, I believe it's around 10-5. She's out of the gym. Even if you know she's getting the ball, doesn't mean you can get a block in front of her. She takes over matches all the time.
Future Gopher is Martin, and for Wayzata, a player who's been just a stalwart in their program for a long time, Kate Berg.
Kate Berg is another outside hitter. She doesn't touch as high as Martin, but she scores more. The kid won't give a point away, and I've seen her grit out points that Wayzata has had no business winning over the last 4 years. She's a 4-year, 6-rotation player. Definitely one of the key cogs for the Trojans this year.
Yeah, they've got 3 seniors who've been together for an awful long time. Nice story about them in the Star Tribune recently. Well, we'll see who gets a leg up on a conference title maybe here to start things out. Hopkins and Wayzata coming your way next here on 12 Sports.
Never graduated high school or even let alone go to college, so I'm trying to break that barrier. Every day after work, went straight to school, studied hard, and it paid off. I could not have done it alone. I see the future is really bright for me. The high school diploma is just added to the confidence, and now I feel unstoppable.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
And welcome back to Wayzata as the teams get set to do battle here in this opening set, and interesting to see who can get off to a good start. I mean, obviously you feel like a team that's in their home gym probably feels a little more comfortable coming in, but it doesn't have that super hyped up buzz atmosphere in here though, so I don't think Hopkins necessarily will be at any disadvantage in that way.
Absolutely true. I think it's an early September match. The teams are still trying to figure each other out. Student sections haven't come out in full force like we tend to see with these matches later on in the year. I think you're right, though, Jay. The team that gets out early, plays a little error-free volleyball, first 5 to 10 points, is probably going to set the tone for this match. Looking forward to a great one, and it looks like Hopkins has earned the right to start the match with the serve.
Greta Werner heading to the service line here for the Royals as we get set to begin our matchup here tonight, and we are underway. Greshel going to dump that one over, and Wayzata scores first. The pass a little bit tight to the net there from Berg, and Greshel saw there wasn't much of a challenge heading our way and puts it away easily. This is Deborah Kovalzuk, an exchange student for Wayzata, serving. Dug up there by Baufield. Now they come to Berg, and there's Tutt getting up for the block for Hopkins, and the Royals are on the board.
See a good close here with Tutt. Lee sets the block. Tutt closes very nicely, and the coverage is a little bit too tight.
Lauren Ortiz serving for the Royals. Greshel will come to Berg and sprays that one way too high.
Berg, a very smart hitter, looking for hands there, just didn't quite finish through her swing on it.
So the Royals grab the 2-1 lead. Cuts it sharply cross court and gets it down. That was actually a tougher ball probably than the previous one.
Berg here kind of expecting a ball a little further inside, is kind of going wrist away to hit that shot and does a nice job finding the sideline.
Greshel serving here for the Trojans. Here's Martin getting her first swing and got it through the block up just a little bit late. And she is tough to stop when she gets the set she likes.
Lee set her up there, and as she released the ball, you could hear her on our speaker. She was telling Jazz that the line was open, and she took that big swing right there.
To the outside, and Berg able to put it away and get the serve right back for Wayzata to even things up at 3 apiece.
Berg's going to be the hot hand early. That's why they start with her in position 1. She does a really good job there, cutting again to the sideline.
And serving that one at Martin and not able to handle it, so Trojans go up 4-3.
I think the early Trojan game plan is to make Martin take the first ball quite often here. It's led to 2 kills for Berg and an ace as well.
Nice block thrown up there by Elizabeth Helmick. And then this one off the block and wide. Royals get the serve back here and even things up at 4.
That last rotation, they have Martin, who's 6'3" and touches over 10 feet, and Erickson, who's 6'1" and touches about 10 feet. That's a tough block to pull off against either one of those two.
Go quick to Baufield. Royals able to scramble and recover. Now Werner. Berg, nice dig there. And put away here by the lefty for Wayzata as Helmick, the freshman, delivers.
Yeah, Helmick does a really good job. It's normally uncomfortable for a lefty on the left side like that. She does a really good job letting the ball get across her body before she swings.
Paige Hagelin serving and will score it for Wayzata.
Another tough serve from the senior libero here. See if she has another one in her pocket.
And off the block and wide, so Hopkins will pull back to within a point. Jane Nelson to serve here for the Royals. Greshel a long run to get to that one. And they're able to scramble to get a point out of it there as Kovalzuk will get the kill. The timing of the blockers just wasn't quite there.
Yeah, I got a little distracted as Baufield was back in serve receive and then tried to run in and hit a quick set. If she's going to pass, that's a tough play for her to make.
Lee able to run it down. Kovalzuk sending over a free ball here. Now here's Tutt, just too long with that one for the Royals, and now Wayzata goes up 8-5. Biggest lead they've had, or either team's had so far, as Sheehy, the junior, serving. Werner off the block. Trojans scrambling a little bit. Berg, a nice pass. Greshel will come back to Berg, and Martin able to dig it up. To Baufield, and there's Martin with another dig for Hopkins. A little off on the timing there, but they'll get it over, and now an opportunity deep middle and put away there by Erickson for Hopkins.
A good long rally. Erickson with patience from the right side over there. Puts the ball in the 1-6 seam. Berg looking like that should have been my ball.
to Baufield. And Werner scrambles to keep it alive. Now rolls one right into the middle.
Baufield, right after I talked about it the last time they were in serve receive, she serve received that ball in position 5 over on the left side and then ran a slide all the way across the court. That's a really good route.
Berg misfiring there after there was a little confusion on who's going to take that second ball. So Hopkins back to a tie situation now at 8-8. Back for Berg. Martin is solid though to dig it up. And it grazed the ceiling there and left Lee with little chance to get to that one. So 9-8 lead now for Wayzata. Been a little hit and miss on both sides so far, but that's partly because of the other team too.
September volleyball will lead to a lot of that. These two teams familiar with each other, the players familiar with each other. It's fun to watch.
Werner able to put it away there despite Hagelin's effort. So 9-9 our score. And Greta Werner will serve here. Kind of a nice mix on both teams of, really some core seniors that have been around that are leading the way, but also working in some young players, including a freshman on each team that'll play quite a bit. Cross court, but wide with that one is Kovalzuk, 6'1", exchange student. I believe they said Brazil was her home country, so it's been kind of a new player to work into the Wayzata system.
As Coach Jackson said, a welcome surprise as the season started.
And Berg will put that one away.
Another good set. Berg with her 4th or 5th kill. This time, Lee gives her the line, and Erickson's in a good spot, just doesn't quite get her hands up in time.
Kovalzuk trying to give her team the lead back, and she will, as Werner sliding to her right could not make the pass, and it's 11-10 Trojans.
Trojans, as always, with a Scott Jackson coach team, very tough from the service line.
Baufield and Greshel dumping it over, and then the recovery, and Martin will put that one away for Hopkins. So look at Vicki Swenson, 22nd season now as Royals head coach, and she talked about it's been a good, back and forth rivalry with Wayzata. They've each won quite a few times against the other. And Berg denied there. A nice block put up that time by Lee and Erickson. Or maybe Nelson.
Nelson and Lee closing on that block. Really, really good eyes.
And Baufield a miss hit there as they went back to her. So 13-11. First time Hopkins is led by more than 1 point for quite a while. And serving now for the Royals will be Ortiz. And wide with that one, so 13-12. And Scott Jackson, 18th season here at Wayzata, and he reminded me too that went against Hopkins while he was the Armstrong coach prior to coming over here as well. So they've had quite a few battles over the years. And it's interesting because they both joke around, Coach Vicki and Scott. They joke around so much and they're friends and all that, but when it gets to be a section match or whatever, you better believe they want to beat each other bad.
Yeah, there's very few matches you want to win more than one against one of your really good friends. Nice swing by Martin there. She goes over the block.
14-13 lead here for Hopkins. Tara Lee serving. Comes with a short floater, and it works. Baufield, a late lunge, couldn't get there enough to do anything with it.
Really good contact from Lee here. You see her just same swing as if she goes deep, but able to take a little off it at the end.
Greshel to Berg, and that ball is just in.
She's surgical, Jay. She just She finds every square inch of the court. She's painted that sideline 4 times, and the other kill she got was down the line off Eriksson's hands.
And that felt like a pretty big point at this point in the the first set. If that's wide or deep, Royals have the momentum back, and there's a nice block. So Hopkins goes back up by 2.
Yeah, that would have made it 16-13 Hopkins. And in your home court first set of the match, you really want to make sure you don't give away that one there.
And that one put away by Mia Frick as Greshel crossed up the defense a little bit by going right side with it.
Frick with a nice little rotation from her shoulder. The lefty hard to block over on that right side.
Paige Hagelin the serve for Wayzata. Eriksson a swing there. Tip to the middle, but then a tough ball to really get to for Lee to do anything with. Wayzata fighting back to even things up here. Got a second ball in play there now. Got it out there. Hagelin has served well. And Eriksson wipes that one off the block.
Eriksson finding the edge of the block a couple different times now for points.
Jay Nelson will serve here, and it's a good one, but Baufield able to get a decent pass away there. Werner off the block and good.
Martin does a really good job earlier in that rally, just staying home in the middle back defensive position and throwing her hands on that ball, leading to the transition kill for Werner.
To Baufield, but Nelson is there. Now here's Martin rolling one, but Trojans ready for it. And off the block again as Werner gets it done. And a timeout taken by Scott Jackson as he sees the Royals go up 3.
Yeah, we see Werner again use the edge of the block. Werner's been playing organized volleyball for about 9 years, I think. I remember seeing her in our gym when she looked like little Cindy Brady back in about 2009. The kid just balls. She plays hard all the time. She's not an overpowering athlete like her opposite, Jazz Martin, but she's going to score and she's going to frustrate you, and it's hard to defend a kid that's able to hit a roll shot to the middle of the court and then drop an elbow and crack it off the top of the block on the next swing. She's a special kid. You won't meet a harder worker in that gym. Love everything she's been about. The family's great people. Here we are, we're sitting early on. Hopkins up 19-16 in set 1. It looked like Wayzata had control early, and there was a little chip away by Hopkins, and now they've taken the lead. I expect front row, back row, Kate Berg getting this ball out of the timeout, unless it's perfect and Baufield can get on a route early.
See if Nelson can keep up her momentum serving here after this timeout. They have surged into the 3-point lead.
There's that perfect pass.
Lee falling backward dug it up, but then they all stood and watched.
It's the crazy part. So about 5 or 6 years ago, defenses changed their offensive systems more accurately. Used to be when the setter took the first ball, the right side took it, but now the libero does that. In that particular half rotation, the libero was off the court, meaning we had problems.
Lead Eriksson. Berg able to dig it up, and Baufield swats it over on the second ball there. I'm going to go back to Martin, flat-footed there. Here's Baufield and off the block. And Wayzata gets a much-needed point right there. And Baufield did a good job, too, to get out of the way of that ball once it had been blocked.
Yeah, it's one of those safety things. Greshel's very comfortable setting Baufield from just about anywhere, and she did right there about 8 feet off the net. Good route.
And Tutt taking a ball that probably should have been someone else's there. 19-19 now as Wayzata fighting right back with 3 straight.
Tutt realized it as soon as she touched it. That was not her ball to play. Martin told her, hey, I'll get the next one. We'll see how they recover.
Werner has it denied. A strong block put up there by the Trojans. I think Baufield got most of it there. 2019 Wayzata. And now Vicky Swenson wants a timeout on the Hopkins side. So all that momentum that it felt like they had kind of seized, now Wayzata reeling off 4 in a row.
Yeah, well, 4-point run here by the Trojans, capped by some great net play from Baufield. She's able to get a couple blocks, get a kill off the slide, and I think if you're Hopkins, you're trying to just calm everybody back down. Remember what got you that 19-16 lead. And on the other side of the timeout, we have Wayzata, who's probably going to be sitting in a situation like, hey, let them do what they want to do. We take care of the ball on our side. Good things happen. Wayzata isn't the team that's going to overpower you. They're going to out-chop you. They're going to outwork you. A friend of mine, Jack, always says, if I got 12 hours to chop down a tree, I'm going to spend 11 sharpening the axe. That's what the Wayzata teams always do. They're good at the little things. They're better at the little things than you are. And as a result, when it gets tight late, they let their skill set take care of it. Where Hopkins has always been, let's go big athlete and go get some big points. So we'll see if they can get one of their athletes the ball here.
Sheehy serving with the 1-point lead for Wayzata. Lead back for Werner, and we had a net violation against the Royals, so a key mistake there. 21-19 lead now for Wayzata.
Yeah, pass a little tight. Lee tried to go up and get it, but her right elbow caught the net on the way down.
Off the block, but Hagelin is there. And tough ball to Kovalzuk, was a little indecisive and then tried to play it backpedaling. So Erickson will serve for Hopkins as they are down by 1. Here's Baufield and puts it away. Ball was tipped. So a 2-point lead for the Trojans.
Baufield here again. She's patient on the slide. She gets to Greschel and then stops and waits and chases. Really good play by the senior middle blocker.
Baufield a dig here. Now Berg as they scramble. And Martin will send it over. They'll come right back for Berg, again off the block. Werner denied there by Kovalzuk. Baufield, a nice dig. Berg trying to roll one down the line, dumped over. Hagelin is there. Great rally here. Here's Baufield. Nice dig. Berg drops it over the block. The temptation is to want to take that big swing, but boy, did she do a nice job with the change of pace.
I tell you what, Kate Berg is it's the old adage, everybody else is playing checkers, she's playing chess. She's 2 touches ahead of the game. She knew before that ball got set that the last 4 balls were hit hard, and the right back defender from Hopkins was going to be on her heels, expecting a banger to end the play. She goes up, she draws like she's going to take that big swing, and then roll at the end, a little 3-finger tip to push that ball over the net and down. Just fun to watch her play, to be honest with you. I've coached across the net from her about 7 or 8 times, and at that point it's never fun, Jay. But to sit here in the crowd and watch 2 juggernauts, the number 4 and number 5 teams in 3A, go at each other in September, it's a joy, and I'm glad we get to be here for it. Hopkins probably going to recover here. I think they still have Werner in the front row. Look for her to come all the way out to the pin and take this ball down the line if the set gets her there. Otherwise, look for Martin out of the back row. Maybe not in the middle where she has been hitting. I could see her swinging over and hitting more from that D-ball spot on the right side of the back row.
Baufield to serve here for Wayzata. 2 points away from possibly taking this first set. It is Martin from the middle. Berg pounds that one home, 24-20.
This is where the freshman inexperience from Todd is really starting to show. You notice she's late getting to this ball. There's one kid that's going to get set in this rotation, and it's Berg.
Werner pushing it deep and drops that one in, right in the corner. So they stay alive, and Werner will serve.
Heavy dose of Berg on the outside here is my call.
Here is Berg for the win, and she gets it done. 25-21. Nice call, Andy. And not that you were on a huge limb there, but 25-21 Trojans. And we will take a look at the point that wins it and then come back with set number 2 here on 12 Sports.
You know, Berg isn't the type of kid that does what we coaches call a set-me pass, but that's kind of what that was. The pass is off the net, only one place that Greschel can put it, and it's out to Berg, who goes off the edge of the block. 1-0, Wayzata up here as we go to commercial.
The color in my garden keeps the pink in my cheeks. I was very independent and thought I could take care of myself. I fell and I had to have Meals on Wheels. They're my savior. My name is Lola Silvestri. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast does whatever she wants, obviously. She's sleeping right now. She's an epic snuggler. She's so comforting. She's so loving. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew right then that she was special.
Wayzata taking the opening set over Hopkins 25-21. Each team with a little surge of points lead, and then Wayzata pulling it out. And a lot of good things to like in the latter part of that, especially for Wayzata there, Andy, kind of making the plays when they needed to.
Yeah, they go on a 9-2 run to finish out the set. And it was a lot to do with Kate Berg. In talking with Coach Jackson before the match, Kate recently got her 1,000th kill. And, you know, you listen to people talk about, I remember hearing Paul Molitor talk about his 3,000th hit and how it was typical of what the rest of his at-bats seemed to be. I don't know what Kate's typical kill looks like because she did a little bit of everything. She went hard line, she went off the block, she went tool, she went deep 5. She's got all the tricks, and we'll see if she can keep that up here in set 2.
Baufield serving to begin our second. Werner into the bench area to get to that one. Greschel will come to Berg, and Tutt up with the block there. Right back to Berg. She'll fire away again, dug up. And now Martin from the back. And that one into the top of the tape, so the Trojans strike first.
We see this ball a little out of system there. Going to be Martin expecting that ball a little tighter. She overruns a little bit and ends up hitting that ball into the block.
Berg again tipping over the block. Werner saw it a little too late as she tried to get down and keep that ball alive. So 2-0 lead here for the Trojans. Werner goes cross court with it, and Hagelin unable to dig that ball up. So the Royals, I liked your description earlier of Werner. I mean, you're not going to walk in the gym and just go, wow, is she impressive? But you look and she's just the type of player that wins you matches. Scramble at the net here. Greshel knocks it over. Now Martin with a little change of pace. That's something she doesn't have to do very often because she can overpower you, but did a good job right there.
Yeah, Lee does a really good job going to her knees and get hands on that ball. Martin under it a little bit, decides she's going to go off speed, and the back row defense isn't ready.
Lee across, and here's Martin hammering it home. Great set there, and Martin knows what to do with that.
Yeah, we see here the ball gets tipped over. Lee looks like she might dump, which keeps the middle inside a little bit longer than she wants to, developing that seam for Martin to hit well.
Greshel to Berg and puts that one away as Ortiz unable to get herself squared up under it.
Nice jump set from Greshel. Berg unloads on it, and Ortiz kind of dropping her left hip back, which is why that ball ended up leaving the court area.
Kovalchuk serving here for the Trojans. Might have been headed out, but Erickson wasn't sure. Berg tipping, and Martin scrambles in to keep that ball up. And that time Frick kind of served that one into the block pretty easily there. Royals had that one covered.
Yeah, Greshel setting the quick set, but it's weird when it's a lefty, so to find Frick on a quick set is going to be tough.
Berg misses the corner this time as she tried to go deep, sideline. 5-3 advantage for Hopkins as Lauren Ortiz, the senior, will serve. And Berg puts that one away. Erickson getting her hands up late.
Yeah, a whole lot of line here, and Berg sees it and swings it. Really nice job by the senior outside hitter there.
Greshel serving here for the Trojans, trying to even things up. Here's Jazz Martin pounding it home.
Martin likes that tempo set there. It's not a high ball that hangs in the air forever. It's a pretty quick set. Lead to Martin. Martin just quick twitch to get around that ball well.
Tara Lee the serve, and it is just out. I thought Wayzata might have made a mistake by letting that one go, but not quite. They knew better.
It looked really long, and then at the last second it dropped, but a little bit too late.
Berg serving here for the Trojans. Here's Martin, and Baufield able to get the block. And that one felt extra good because she knows how good the player is across from her.
Martin went up for that ball. Typically when Martin gets blocked, it's because her elbow's low. She went high on that ball, and Baufield went just as high.
Hagelin digs it up. Good pass there from Ortiz, and that ball hit the floor, yes. So 7-6 Royals.
Lee with a little change of pace there, sees the defense kind of on their heels, waiting for the ball to go outside, and decides to tip it over herself.
Martin the serve here for Hopkins. They go quick to Baufield. The timing was there, and she put it in a great spot as well down that line.
Berg in the back row, perfect pass, one option. And for some reason, there's only one block. Erickson's got to get in there and help.
Hagelin trying to give her team the lead back. She's a good server. And they cannot scramble and get to it, though, and the Royals go back in front by a point as Jane Nelson will serve.
Erickson with a great swing there for that kill off the block.
And Baufield gets it done as the block was just a bit late getting up. Snuck it in.
Yeah, they're in a bunch read, which means they're going to be a little bit lowered position with their hands. When that ball is on the net and you know Baufield's coming, you got to get your hands up and across a little bit quicker.
And Sheehy with a rare serving error for either team really tonight. And Royals go back in front. Kovalchuk has it dug up by Ortiz. Now Werner gets the kill for Hopkins, and they go up by 2.
A little play out of the Wayzata playbook there. Outside hitter going 4-4, hitting cross court at the other team's outside hitter. Good enough for another point.
Anna Eriksson, the sophomore, serving. The back row to Berg. Martin's pass into the net, and Werner unable to do anything with that, so the Trojans back to within a point, and Baufield will serve. And Werner does a great job using the block there. Read that one nicely. Greta Werner to serve here with her team now up 11-9. Lee across from Martin. Hagelin will dig it up. And Berg able to get that one between the blockers there, so Trojans right back to within a point.
It might be time to triple block Berg out here. There's 4 hands sitting in front of her, and it still doesn't matter. Berg playing at a whole nother place right now.
Kovalchuk to serve here for the Trojans. And Werner unable to get that pass where she wanted it, 11-11.
Yeah, one of the keys for server, Steve, is getting in the line of the ball early, and Werner, as well as we've seen with Eriksson and Martin a little bit, throwing arms instead of getting behind that ball, leading to some serve-receive trouble.
And another one, that pass comes into the net. So Wayzata's continued to serve well. It said the serving error a moment ago, but other than that, I mean, they've been solid in most of the varied things too. That you can't really sit on winning one serve.
Mm-hmm.
Martin pounding that one home, and they get a much-needed stop of the run there. So 12-12, and Ortiz will serve now for the Royals.
Every bit of a battle we thought we'd get here today, Jay.
And you're seeing, neither team is ever panicking. You're not seeing fingers pointing or heads going down. It's just been kind of comfortable back and forth. They both know what they have, and they both know they're pretty evenly matched. And we're seeing, little mini runs here and there, but for the most part, you're not seeing either team dominate. Lee to Martin, and she puts it away. 13-all.
She hits angles you don't practice defending because nobody else hits them. Here we see this ball. It's inside a little bit, and she's able to take it where it wants to go.
Lee will try to give her team the lead back. Greshel, a long run to get there, and they'll send it over. Lee to Martin, and off the block and good. So a 1-point lead now for Hopkins again.
You gotta, there's 3 options that can score here, but moving right to left along the net, Lee's probably gonna go to Martin there, and she does for the point and the lead.
Lee will go right side to Eriksson. Greshel gets to it. And Baufield, though, too strong with that one. And the lead is 2 for Hopkins. Trying to even things up after losing the first set 25-21. Berg smokes that one home as Lee trying to slide over. Maybe overran it just a little bit.
Greshel here with another good tempo set. Eriksson late to get her hands to the ball. Lee trying to get to the line, and that ball kind of drifts inside her a little bit.
Lee dumping this one over. And it's back to a 2-point lead for Hopkins as Martin will serve.
Lee, again, flow is making her go one way. Everybody thinks the ball's going outside, and she goes over on 2.
Baufield a strong hit, but dug up by Ortiz. I think Wayzata was ready to celebrate the point there. And just missing cross-court deep corner was a Helmick.
Yeah, Helmick trying to go to the Kate Berg bag of tricks into that deep corner and just misses.
And there's Frick doing a nice job of staying calm there. That wasn't a real easy ball to set, and she didn't overrun it. Haglund. Here's Greta Werner swinging away. Kovalzuk has it dug up by Ortiz. Now Martin from the back, and Berg cannot handle the pace of that one. And Hopkins back in front by 3.
Martin in rhythm is just fun to watch. Here we see Baufield thinking the ball might go to Nelson, kind of takes a shift step to her left and can't get back to get in front of Martin.
Good recovery to at least get that ball over after a tough first pass. Berg with the dig. Kovalzuk off the block. Royals colliding. They're all over the place, and they scramble and get it over. And I think Tutt came over, yep. Got a little too eager there and interfered with that one.
You know, this is the time when I wish we had that Olympic angle where we saw where the ball actually was. I thought Tutt actually held it out for that one, and it was in the plane, but the call goes to the senior Greshel on the over.
And an ace will pull Wayzata back to within a point.
Body language still good from both sides here. No struggle, no panic.
Sheehy with the serve. Cross court from Werner, and Hopkins leading by 2 again.
Werner with an armpit swing there. You see the block is in a pretty good space, but she cuts it just under the armpit of the middle blocker there, Baufield.
Baufield on the slide, just barely kept that one alive. Berg will have to send it over. Outside to Werner, and the block just a touch late getting there, and Hopkins seemingly in command a little bit here now at 20-17, and a timeout taken by Wayzata.
Yeah, our first stoppage of set 2 here is both teams really, and normally as a coach, I sit back and go, man, they're probably ready for a timeout here. Let's watch this last play here. We got Baufield, tips the ball over. Tutt, recognizing she couldn't get there, does a great job of pulling off. Werner sends it over. We got a little bit of chaos coming in. Martin with a great first touch. Jump set from Lee. Werner again. This time it goes off the hands of Baufield and down. Werner just consistent. Just nothing flashy, but she's not going to give anything away, and she does it right there. As I was saying earlier, momentum, you can feel you're going to want to call a timeout, but as a coach watching this thing, this is the first time that I felt anybody needed to calm anybody else down. And Jackson isn't worried about what his team is or isn't doing right now. He just wants to slow down Hopkins a little bit. Vicky on the other side of the net, loving the momentum she's got from her team, but they've been in this situation before. It was in set 1, they were up 19-16 before Wayzata went on a run to win the set 25-21. Off this timeout, look for Erickson to serve tough, and I'd find Baufield.
Oh, and Wayzata. A little lack of communication there. Hagelin did not take that ball, 21-17.
Yep.
Net violation there. So 22-17 lead for the Royals on a ball set tight to the net.
It's a great move by Greshel there. Tutt didn't move to go block it, so had she not gone in the net, that's a clean kill.
Baufield gets the ball, like you said. It maybe came a couple points after they were hoping it would have, though, so they're still down 4. Hagelin there and ready for that dump that time. Now Baufield rolling it. Tip to the outside, but just wide. Maybe tried to be a little too fine there. There was quite a bit of space.
3 dumps in 1 rally normally aren't going to result in anything good there, and the end result ends up being a wide attack from Lee.
Berg getting up for the block, but the Royals scramble to keep it alive. Berg had to tip that one. Lee just punches it over. And Berg plays it off the blocker there. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't exactly what they were looking for, but she was able to use that blocker. And so 22-20, Wayzata saying we're not out of it yet.
Yeah, Lee does a lot of really good things throughout the last couple rallies there. When Coach Swenson's daughter, Samantha, graduated, people got worried about where the hands of the Royals were going to be. And we see Lee here. We get a nice outside ball. The tip is there. Lee with the wherewithal to know nobody's behind her, sends it back over, gets another chance, lines herself well on the block here. But Berg, the senior, just a little bit smarter. Great rally, good fight. 22-20. Hopkins up here with a little room to wiggle, but not much. Look for Lee to find the hot hand, which I believe we have Werner in the front row. So my money would be on her getting this ball. On the Wayzata side, they're going to serve tough. They're going to make sure they know what Lee's about. If she can dump, they're going to get hands in front of her and try and keep her honest.
So Baufield will serve here out of the timeout for Wayzata.
Interesting. Middle hitter, Baufield, plays opposite outside Kate Berg. That way one of them is always in the front row. It's a strategy used a few different times by some really good high school coaches, Scott Jackson among them.
Baufield to Greshel, and now Berg just scrapes it over. Battle at the net, and it's going to go wide, and Hopkins will win a scramble point there.
As we say in the game, it wasn't pretty, but it wasn't quite illegal, so they're going to play on, 23-20.
Werner with the serve here for the Royals. Berg smokes that one, 23-21.
You know it's coming. You know what she's going to do, and it just doesn't matter.
Kovalchuk serving here for the Trojans. Outside from Martin, and it's off the ceiling. They cannot recover. And now Hopkins to within a point of evening things up here. Lauren Ortiz with a set point for the Royals.
Might have a commit block here.
Greshel to Berg, and off the block and down, so the Trojans still alive.
Vicki Swenson looking at Jane Nelson, reminding her exactly how that block is supposed to get set up, and reminding her she did it right. Sometimes the outside hitter's just going to win.
Here is Martin.
And on cue, the outside hitter wins. 25-22, set 2 goes to Hopkins. Good serve here from Greshel. They're out of system. They only have one option, but when Martin touching 10-5 is the option, that's a pretty good place to be as well. We will head to commercial, tied at a set apiece.
Every time I hear the alarm bell go off in school, I think it's an air raid.
A lot of houses in our neighborhood have been destroyed. I like to close my ears and sing songs whenever the bombs come close.
I'm worried our new neighbors won't like us.
But I know it's all gonna be worth it. I just want my family to be safe. But these are not my words.
These are not my words.
These are not my words.
you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally.
Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah.
That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected.
Well, we said it'd probably be a pretty even matchup here tonight, and it's sure looking that way in these first two sets. Wayzata pulling out the first one 25-21. Hopkins takes the second 25-22. So we head into set number 3, and I don't think we've seen anything really that surprised you in a big way from either club so far here.
No, both teams playing the type of volleyball we thought we'd get from them, you know. We knew in talking to Coach Scott Jackson at the beginning, before the match started, that Kate Berg would be the gun they relied on. Greshel would be responsible for getting them a lot of balls, and Ballfield will take her swings when she gets the opportunity. That's what we've seen. On the Hopkins side, we talked about Jazz Martin before the match started, and when push comes to shove, she seems to be the one that's getting the ball. Not to undo anything Werner's doing, because Werner's chipping away at a lot of big things and scoring some pretty big points for the Royals as well. But like you said, it's the type of match we were expecting. Good, clean volleyball on both sides, heavy hitters, high energy, good defense.
Werner to serve here as we begin set number 3, and obviously when you're playing best of 5, that third one is pretty crucial as Berg scores first for Wayzata.
Yeah, Berg, again, there's no trick. There's no confusion. It's not like running a counter in football. You're going to get Berg and then more Berg and then more Berg.
Kovals are serving here for Wayzata, and here's Jasmine Martin, and that one is wide, not off the block. It hit the top of the tape and skips wide. Vicky Swenson asking, was that ball touched by the blockers? But we had a pretty good look, and I don't think it was. I think they got it right.
I think she missed the block. She was going for it, but didn't quite catch it. Caught tape, and that caused the deflection that Coach Swenson saw.
Martin will tip this time, and a battle for it. Baufield getting underneath that one, got it on target to Greshel, and then across to Berg. There's that three-headed senior group right there, and we saw some skill for all three of them.
Yeah, good first touch there by Baufield. Greshel draws the attention of Tutt, the freshman middle blocker, meaning Tara Lee's got to try and take care of Kate Berg one-on-one. That's a tough call.
Here's Martin hammering that one home, and with both Greshel and Lee, sometimes you know, obviously real volleyball people like yourself notice, but you have a tendency when the ball just keeps getting put in the right spot to sort of take it for granted that, you know, the setters are pretty good on both these teams.
Yeah, and as a coach who's been fortunate enough to coach some pretty high-end setters, we're expecting it, but we definitely don't take it for granted. It's fun to watch setters of this high caliber run their offenses.
And that one was not exactly the way they had things drawn up, but Mia Frick will get the point out of it for Wayzata.
again, that little bit of odd, how do we set a lefty in the middle situation here? And in this rotation with Greshel serving, there's actually 2 lefties in the front row for Wayzata.
And there's an ace for Kinsey Greshel right there.
Early timeout for Hopkins as Vicky wants to right the troops. A little bit of problem there. Ortiz misreading the serve, thought it was going to be coming at her deeper, and it drops in front. In this situation, with a 5-1 lead, nothing's safe in this match. I think that's what I learned from set 1. You don't want to get comfortable at this point. We want to keep the pressure on if we're Wayzata, if we're Hopkins. We know that this game is built on runs. We know that all we got to do is take care of one ball, we get our second point, and then we go on a run of our own. That's the beauty of this game. There are so many just great poetic moments, and it's all I do for a living, so I'm a little more emotional than most when it comes to this. But in this game, as long as you retain the serve, the other team can never beat you. And so you got to be able to get the serve back, which is all Hopkins is trying to do right now. You know, whether it's a thundering kill from Martin or a missed serve, it all scores the same, and Hopkins needs something to get the ball back.
Greshel, another strong serve. They'll go to Martin, and that's a good way to get it back.
Yeah, nice swing by Martin. I think she went over the block. It was pretty quick. I didn't quite get on the ball in time, but she definitely was high enough to go over that block.
Lee serving here, comes with the short serve. Now Berg. That one hits the ceiling, and that one's going to make it unplayable there as Ortiz got under it and got too much of it and knocked it off the ceiling.
Yeah, Berg unloads on another ball. It's just effortless. She never looks like she's working that hard to take a big swing.
And that one is good by Martin, going cross court to the deep corner.
Yeah, Martin, a true definition of a pin hitter. She can hit from the left or the right with ease. Has, I believe, 3 kills from the right side in this match.
And that was a dynamite serve as well, 6-4. Martin, I mean, obviously the physical part of it you can't really teach, but her skill level has gotten much better in the last year, I'd say.
Yes, absolutely true. She's done some really good work with her arm swing, with her body control, with her tempo of her footwork to swing. Everything coming around really well for the future Gopher recruit.
Baufield with a nice block there for the Trojans as they put the lead back to 3 at 7-4. Hagelin will serve. Lee, and there's a misfire by Helmick on what could have been a relatively easy opportunity, but we had a net violation on Hopkins anyway, so Wayzata will get the point.
Yeah, trying to recover on it. So Helmick's going to get a swing on that overpass, and Nelson's going to try and get in front of it, and doesn't quite maintain body control.
Another tough serve, but handled pretty well. And Werner smokes it home. You have to give credit there to Ortiz making that pass on a pretty difficult serve.
Ortiz does a great job, you're absolutely right, Jay, of staying locked in on what the ball's actually doing.
They'll come to Helmick, but it is denied. And the Royals throwing up a strong block, and they're back within 2.
I love the idea that Greshel had right there to reverse flow. I don't think Helmick saw it coming, though.
They'll come right back to her, and Royals fight and get to it. This time Baufield pushing it over. Greshel comes back to Baufield, a one-handed dig there by Martin. And we'll get a point for Wayzata. Double contact there called against Tutt.
Great rally, 2 phenomenal defensive touches from the Royals back in the zone 5 area there. One as a ball catches the backboard above us and Nelson makes a play, and another one where Martin throws one hand on it.
Sheehy the serve. Tough ball, but Werner will keep it in play at least, and then Greshel dumping it over and scores the point for the Trojans. So there's your benefit of having a setter who's 6 feet tall.
Greshel does a really good job dumping that ball, and it almost bites her as it trickles on the net on the way back over and almost lands back inbounds.
Lead to Tutt. Greshel just getting to that one. Tutt will get a full swing this time and puts it away for Hopkins.
Tutt gets up so well, and as a result, her, as they say, her freshman tendencies, she's a little less skilled than some of the other players on the Royals squad, but athletically, she's going to be doing some really good things.
And don't you have the feeling maybe by the, say they make the state tournament or in their section, the growth that she makes is going to be pretty important for them.
Yeah, you see a kid this raw in September, you really want to watch her again in October. And hopefully for the Royals fans in November in St. Paul.
Hopkins fighting right back into it there. They're within a point.
Lee gave absolutely nothing away on that dump. I had no idea it was coming.
Greshel, the Baufield wipes it off the block. You could hear Hopkins yelling slide, but still able to get it done.
Every once in a while, Baufield just wants it. She reminds me of Osceola's Tina Bow. Just has that grit about her. Like at certain points, I just want to take over.
Here's Martin firing it home. Yeah, Baufield, you almost get the feeling like, I mean, if she was playing against the U.S. Olympic team, she'd still think she was going to win.
Yeah, mindset. Here's Martin out of the back row, creating angles no one wants to defend.
Greshel, a long run to get to it, and now Berg firing away, and it was good. 12-10. That was, they made a lot out of not much there.
Making lemonade for sure here. Bump set from Greshel. Berg sees the opening and takes advantage.
Kovalchuk serving. Here's Tutt, just missed the back line there.
I like the idea there, forcing middle, out of serve receive. Tutt a little uncomfortable with it, just misses deep.
Here's Martin tipping, but he gets there. Now Berg off the block and good, and a 4-point Wayzata lead. Kovalchuk's been kind of an interesting one that, he's been a pretty solid player out there for them tonight, and obviously it's somebody they didn't, know much about or hadn't been playing with this group of players before, but she's got some skill.
Absolutely.
And Hopkins, the pass wasn't great, but nobody could get it, and 15-10. One of the first times that we've seen the Royals start to falter a little bit, and Wayzata's lead is 5.
Yeah, you talked earlier, I think it was in set 2, about body language and stuff right there. On that service ace, I saw for the first time a little bit of lack of communication between Lee and Martin, as both of them thought maybe the other one was going to go get it. I think that's what Vicky saw as well. She's going to right the ship right now, come off this timeout, and go get the next couple points. Wayzata, everything going their way right now. First time they've been up by this much, I believe, all match. Good run here from the service line. We'll see if they can continue to extend the lead. Again, Hopkins, they're in a great rotation here. Lee as a front row setter is a very viable attacker. We know that Lee also trusts Tutt, and Martin, everybody knows that she's capable of putting a ball away at any point.
Kovalchuk serving to try and stretch a 5-point lead. And Lee had that one blocked by Berg. They'll come outside to Berg, and she fires away and scores it for Wayzata. She was alert on that first opportunity there.
Yeah, we see the dump set over, and Greshel's going to repay that kind of effort. And I think Werner's got to read that seam and jump in there and go grab that ball.
To Martin, Baufield able to dig that up. Back for Berg, tipping, and they send it right back. Martin rolling it to the middle and nobody home. Big point there for Hopkins. I don't think they could afford to fall behind any more than they were.
Yeah, a good run, but a good out-of-system swing to finally get out of that rotation.
Ortiz with a tough serve. Now Berg, and it is good for the point for Hopkins as that block landing just in.
You see a great block here, and the mindset, you look at Lee right now, and she's just got this look on her face like, I'm going to take over for a couple points. Great block by Martin.
To Berg, hitting from off the net, and that ball was good down the line.
There was 2 square feet she could hit that weren't covered by Hopkins right there, and she found them.
I was thinking, like, how is this ball possibly going to be in down that line, but it was. And there's Greshel, their leading server, and see she is able to find the weak spots more often than not. Lee to Martin, and trickles between the block there, so Hopkins trying to stay in it, down by 5. Lee will serve. Ooh, and Lee, the rare serving mistake. As we said, neither team has had much of that at all tonight.
She's been toying short most of the day, and that one finally caught up with her. A little bit of a tough toss, making it tough for her to put that ball in play.
And that one will land in as she tried to go with the dump, and actually kind of almost 2 players going for it. Frick, though, able to keep it in. 7-point Wayzata lead as Berg serves. Erickson sprays it too long. Hopkins kind of hoping for maybe a touch there, but I don't think so.
Erickson late to the ball as it came out quick, and she's not able to finish over the top like she wants to.
Erickson off the block. Great scramble by Baufield to get to it. And Martin rolls that one into an open spot. For Hopkins right here, I mean, you don't concede this set yet by any means, but I think you at least would like to do something to feel good about it, even if you don't win, close strong.
Yeah, like outscore them from here to the end of the set would be a good momentum piece for them.
Nice dig by Ortiz. Here's Werner. Greshel goes quick with it to Baufield. Good recovery by the Royals. Berg. Baufield denied at the net by Jane Nelson. 1-on-1, and Nelson gets the best of her.
I think Swenson had something to do with this. I think she said, we got to make sure we get a set of hands on Baufield all the time, as Nelson stuffs her twice in one rally. One it's covered well, and the second one to end the rally.
And that one was off the tape, not blocked, but Frick into the top of the net. So 21-16, Hopkins definitely making a little effort and creeping back into it. Frick tipping, Ortiz gets there. And I think Greshel going to be called for a net violation, yep. Couldn't stop her momentum.
Good idea to try and force middle there, but doesn't have the control of her body to keep herself from going under the net there.
Martin, a tough serve. Here's Baufield, dug up though by Lee. Hagelin gets there. Now Berg hitting from the back. Martin got a piece of it, then Lee, and now Werner. And Helmick, a misfire there, and Wayzata may be starting to get a little tight as they had a big lead, and it's kind of shrinking up here, 21-18.
5-point run for the Royals now as they were all but dead in the water at 21-13. We see great hustle here. Martin on her butt. Lee gets a hand on it. Werner makes it a little bit better. And, in talking with with the Gophers staff a couple weeks ago, I overheard their coaching staff repeat a couple phrases over and over again. They said, hey, let's serve tough and let's hit it in a lot. And at some point, that's all you need to do. If you serve it tough, not letting them do everything they want to do, and you just keep hitting it in, eventually a lot of teams in volleyball are going to give you something back. And right now, that's all Hopkins has done here since they trailed by 8 at 21-13.
It's not often the team that's ahead 21-18 is the one that's kind of feeling the pressure, but because of what the score was a moment ago, that seems to be the case right here now. Martin with the serve. They go to Baufield, but Lee is there. Hagelin will set it back for Berg and missed, trying to go down the sideline. And it's a 2-point lead now for Wayzata.
Look for a switch here. I'd like to see Baufield take a big swing on the outside. Oh, quick set coming.
They come to Frick, and she will score it as Lee unable to handle it. I think they were maybe a little caught off guard by that too.
Yeah, good swing there from Frick, the lefty, as everybody's attention goes on Baufield, as well it should. And Frick takes care of the ball.
Hagelin with the serve for Wayzata as they break the Hopkins streak there. Berg will roll it to the middle. Swatted to the outside, and it drops in nicely for Hopkins, and they are within 2 again.
I believe that was Nelson. Here is, yeah, Lee just trying to keep it off the floor. Nelson nowhere near where she wanted to be. Knows she's got to get it over. Finds the corner.
Baufield tipping here. Royal scramble, and Martin sends it over. Greshel will come back, and Helmick sprays it long. 1-point lead now for Wayzata.
Helmick, the freshman, really wanting to get on that ball. Overruns it a little bit and misses long.
Helmick will get another opportunity. Blocked. Berg sending it over. Now Werner a swing, and she'll tie things up. I would have bet Hopkins wasn't going to be able to catch up in this third set, but they've done it, 22-22.
9-1 run for Hopkins right now as Werner finding hands and the sideline.
Lee coming to Tut.
Yep.
Hagelin, we had a net violation there, so Wayzata will go up 23-22.
Tut wasn't quite ready for the ball. Lee finds her, but she's a little hurried as she finishes her swing and ends up in the net.
So Wayzata leading by a point as Sheehy will serve. And the block will go wide. We're tied at 23. Erickson to serve.
Werner just abusing the edge of Greshel's hand there.
Baufield swatting it to the middle. Lee gets under it. Long run for Hagelin, and now Hopkins has come all the way back to take the lead, 24-23.
Scott Jackson not happy with the no call on Erickson's sendover.
Here's Berg. Now Martin from the back, off the net and good, and the comeback is complete. Wow, Hopkins 25-23. And here I was talking about, can we just get a little momentum when they don't have a chance to win anymore? They proved me wrong.
Yeah, 21-13. Hopkins trailed and came back with a 12-2 run to finish it off. Great finish by Hopkins. The never say die kids, maybe? I don't know. That's belief system right there. Trusting your teammates, knowing that good things are going to happen. Hopkins up 2-1 as we go to break.
Did you know kids who play outdoors have healthier lungs?
Totally. Did you know that boys that play with dolls make better husbands?
My son has lots of dolls.
But did you know terry cloth diapers breathe better?
I did. Mm-hmm.
It's totally true.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys know statistically friendly kids have more friends?
Yeah. That's obvious.
Did you know most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to make sure your child is protected.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And welcome back here to Wayzata, and Hopkins scoring a miracle comeback, if you will, down 21-13 in that third set. They win it, and we'll see, does that momentum carry over, and does Wayzata start to question themselves a little bit after dropping that big of a lead? Greshel comes to Berg, had it blocked. And then Wayzata will get the point out of it. Lee stopped playing. She was certain that that play should have been called down, and wasn't the case.
Vicky Swensing letting her know that she's got a play whistle to whistle right there.
And an ace there, Erickson creeping up, and then had to try and fight that one off. Werner just punching it over. Now Berg fires that one, and our monitor takes a little hit there. Nice catch, Andy.
Thanks. Berg here with a great set, takes it again down that line. There's a lot going on there. Tough for Lee to take away everything that Berg can hit.
And Berg will put another one away here, and I think we've kind of answered the question if Wayzata was going to just be upset and stop playing here.
Well-coached teams respond well to adversity, and that's what we have right here. The Trojans answering the call, as we should say, after giving up a big lead in set 3, coming hard and fast to start set 4. Let's watch that last point here. Martin with a little bit of chaos. Werner tries to go to that deep 5 spot. Greshel on a tee to Berg, and another ball. This time it goes into the ceiling, and we got great effort from both Lee and Martin to try and make a play. Interesting, in between here, in between sets 3 and 4, Sam Swenson decided to grace us with her presence for a little bit. Sam, a Hopkins graduate, 6-year starter for the Royals, now the Gopher setter for the number 3 ranked Gophers. There you see her in the maroon with Dad Eric right above her, and if you can see to her right, there's Alyssa Gaynor, DS for the Gopher squad. Sam, for the second week in a row, was voted Big Ten Setter of the Week. Quite an honor considering how many great setters we have in the conference.
Here's Martin firing away, and we were talking about Wayzata's mindset, and I got the feeling that going to that huddle that Vicky Swenson probably said, remember that great comeback we had? Well, just forget it now because it doesn't matter right now. We're in the 4th set. not a bad place to go when you want to get the serve back to Jasmine Martin. Off the block, they scramble, and Tutt will send it over. And that one was not the prettiest point ever, but Wayzata, like you said earlier, those count the same as a perfect set.
Yeah, good rally, great effort. I like the freshman Tutt's ability to stay under control when things get a little chaotic for her.
Here's Bird firing away, and it was off the blocker and changed its course, so it ended up hitting Martin up in the shoulder area.
Yeah, Martin does a really good job of wearing that ball. She does a good job of turning her body towards where it's coming from and tries to get it up off the shoulder, just didn't quite have enough on it.
Kovalchuk serving again for Wayzata. And Lee will dump that one over with the left hand and finds the open spot inside the sideline.
It's a great spot by Lee there. That deep 5 has been open, and as long as Berg doesn't get her hand in the way, it's going to keep scoring.
Ortiz the serve. In there getting her first swing of the night for Wayzata is Carissa Travis, number 22. It'll be a point, though, for the Royals.
Travis with a nice little pop off the bench there. Like trying to get the new kid involved early.
Ortiz, a nice pass there, and now Martin will fire it home.
How about that as your first assignment? Go over and try and block Jazz Martin. Ready, go. Uh-oh. For some reason, stays inside. Not quite sure who's getting that ball, and I think Greschel reminded her they're probably coming out here just like we're going out there to Berg.
Berg gets the momentum back a little bit for Wayzata. They lead 7-4. They've dominated this fourth set early, but obviously they lost a very big lead in that third, so got to keep bearing down. Here's Greschel. Martin pushing it deep to the corner. Baufield tracks it down. To Martin, and she scores it.
This is a flashback for me to a state final a few years ago where Gopher DS Alyssa Gaynor and Eden Prairie Sarah Wilhite were opposite sides of the net from each other, just cracking balls at each other. That's what we're in for here in set 4 between Berg and Martin, I have a feeling. Here's Berg again.
Off the ceiling, and Lee can't recover as Werner's pass hitting one of those big speakers up there. Three-point lead for Berg and the Trojans. Baufield hammering it away, but Lee gets a decent pass away, and then Martin will get the kill.
Martin just peppers that ball into the block. Big swing down the line from Baufield. Werner's going to give it back to Martin, and did she go? I think she went off the forehead of the middle blocker there.
Hagelin an overpass, and Werner puts it away. Started with that tough serve. Hagelin struggling to control it.
Werner taking care of the overpass.
And Martin with a serving error there, so back to a 2-point lead for Wayzata, but they seem to be in command early, and now we've come back to a very close fourth set.
Yeah, these two teams have played each other enough times that no lead is safe, and at no point is anybody going to get overly comfortable, and I think we learned that from Hopkins in set 1 as they were up late in 1 and ended up losing that one, and then the ginormous lead for Wayzata in 3, and Hopkins came back to steal that one.
Hagelin's serve might have been going out. Martin played it though. Now Werner a swing. Kovalchuk will get the kill. She hasn't had too many opportunities offensively, but got the job done there.
Yeah, nothing flashy, but she's able to put that ball in off the edge of the block.
4-point lead for the Trojans as they try and force a 5th set here on their home court. But Hagelin, who's served very well tonight, that time serving error, and I'm happy to say it's been such a rare occurrence that you really notice them.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about Hagelin, who I don't remember seeing her play before, good point, bad point, her facial expression is always the same, which is exactly what you're looking for from a libero. Always smiling, always looking at teammates, good stuff going on.
Helmick misfiring there into the top of the tape, so Nelson will serve and her team to within 2. They'll come to Tutt in the middle, and Wayzata scrambling, cannot get it over. Tutt got a good block, and they rewarded her with an opportunity offensively.
Good effort from the freshman middle blocker.
And Baufield will get the kill for Wayzata.
Good pass. Baufield stays open to Greshel. Greshel gives her the ball. Lee, as the pass was going off the platform, was already yelling middle. She knew where that ball was going. But sometimes knowing doesn't mean you can stop it.
To Erickson. Berg digs that one up. Lee will come right back to Erickson. Here's Berg swinging away. Ortiz fights it off. Greshel will dump it over, and it falls in, and Wayzata is pumped up about that. Somehow winning those long rallies feels a little extra.
Yeah, we're going to go back to the end of the point, but this play started at the very beginning when Erickson got set out of serve receive, and Berg read it and cut off Healy to take it. Great reads everywhere.
Here's Baufield on the slide. Oh, and just long.
I think we got some Trojan fans that may disagree with that call. Line judge just, no, it was this much, just out by this much.
He's wearing a Wayzata volleyball shirt, so more than likely you're not going to get, jobbed by your own guy there. He was honest. There's too strong with it as Berg.
No argument from the Wayzata fans on that call.
Erickson trying to even things up. And Greshel able to handle a tough ball there and off the blocker and good. 14-12 Trojans.
Quick 5-0 lead to start the set for the Trojans, but it's been side-out volleyball since then with a little bit of chipping away here and there by Hopkins.
Lee pushing it deep to the corner. Nice read there after they'd had the net jousting, and she could see that the Trojans had crept up. Werner to serve here for Hopkins. And misfires. Kovalzuk will serve for Wayzata with her team ahead by 2. Lee to Martin.
Good off her leg.
Oh, tried to recover as that ball came back toward the court, actually off the ceiling, but tough one to read.
Good swing here. Kovalzuk wears that off her left leg, and it's up.
Berg has this one denied.
I think we had a little show take there from Leah. She looked like she was going to take away line and then dropped her hands inside at the last second. Great block by the junior setter.
Ortiz will try and give her team the lead here. Good hands by Erickson. Now Werner going deep to the corner. And Martin with a swing. Berg does a great job playing that one in. Berg tips over the block and drops it home. Another one of those big scramble points.
Greshel does a great job putting that ball in a position so Berg can do whatever she wants with it. She decides tip at the last minute, and Erickson not able to read it in time.
Greshel serving for the Trojans, trying to build on that big point. Ooh, and it's a tough serve. 17-15 Wayzata.
Great second effort by the Royals, but not enough right now as Wayzata pulls away to a 2-point lead again.
Off the net. Now Martin pushing it deep. Baufield, though, is there. Here's Berg. Baufield in good position on that one. Likewise, Erickson the other way. Now Martin tipping to the middle on a tough ball. Another long rally here. And tipped wide. The set was not very easy to handle there. Martin trying to almost backhand that ball, really.
Martin looking for hands, but because she's so high, not able to find him.
Martin this time smokes it home, and Hopkins breaks the string. They're back to within 2 now at 18-16.
Now the block looking for Martin to get this ball all the way out on the pin, and it's an inside set. They went to go block a space and not the hitter.
Lee with the serve. Wayzata near collision there. And Erickson smoking it home as Lee disguised that set pretty well. 18-17.
Yeah, good call there, Jay. Lee takes the ball high, looks like she's going to the middle, and then at the last second flicks it back to Erickson because Berg has to help respect the middle block, not able to get where she's supposed to be.
Greshel out to Berg, and Lee can't fight it off. 2-point lead, and Berg will serve for Wayzata. And pounded home by Erickson. No big runs here late for either team. It's been just a little back and forth, and Hopkins trying to tie it back up.
It's a really tough ball.
Helmick hitting one that appeared like it was going long, but Martin played it 20-18.
That is a almost impossible ball to find for the lefty on the left side there, as she's coming from the ball's coming from so far back.
Lee to Erickson, and she puts it away, so they're back to within a point. Nelson will serve here for Hopkins. And double contact there called Greshel as that pass was pretty tight to the net, and we are now evened up at 20.
Greshel looking ball field all the way in there and had to go get a tight pass and couldn't quite get it.
And this time they get what they wanted, 21-20 Trojans.
Yeah, Greshel with the contact 1 and 3 as a middle. You rarely see that. With Greshel in the front row, Ballfield is going to get the one-on-one if the middle's going to stay with the setter.
Sheehy serving for the Trojans. They go back to Martin and bounces around off the ceiling. They cannot find it. It's 21-21.
Reminded me of Plinko up there, bouncing around, trying to figure out how to play that ball back in.
Erickson serving. Werner into the net, 22-21 Wayzata.
Rare out-of-system hitting error from Werner there, giving the lead back to Wayzata.
They come to Martin, and it's too long. Big swing there one way or the other, and it goes Wayzata's way, so they're up 2. And timeout Hopkins.
Timeout Hopkins, and the Royals going to need a side out here. They've got Werner in the front row. Let's take a look at this last point here. Good serve, backing up the libero. We go back row. I like the idea to get Martin the ball here. I think she's expecting that back row set a little bit tighter to the net because she seems to be swinging from behind herself instead of getting on top of the ball and rotating in front of it. As a result, she's had a couple uncharacteristic hitting errors. Look for Werner to get the ball here and find the edge of the block. Wayzata in the spot where they want to be, up 2 late in set 4. Home court advantage here, looking to go 5, wanting to stretch this into a 5th set. And Baufield serving? Yeah, which means Berg's in the 4, so they got options and opportunities in front of them.
Baufield's serve is just too long. Ortiz took a long look at that. She heard an out call and decided to trust it, and it just was long.
I'll tell you, whether that ball is in or out, the trust that was developed right there goes a long way.
Overpass there. Martin trying to put it away, but Wayzata scrambles. Now Berg fires it home, 24-22.
I think Werner was expecting the block to take that swing away, so she went into a different space and the block left it open. They'll get that fixed here between 4 and 5 if we get to that point.
Kovalchuk serving. Now to Berg, and Wayzata will indeed force a 5th set as they win it 25-22. They've been tight all the way, and Wayzata coming up with the big points late in this 4th.
Yeah, good swing here from Martin. Baufield reads it well. Greschel on a tee out to Berg, and that goes in the seam. As we head to set 5, what I'd like to see from Hopkins is a little more commit block on Berg, making sure we close up that hole. And for the Trojans, if they're going to win set 5, they're going to need to make sure their serving stays on point and they're able to get Baufield the ball when she's in the front row. Berg's getting hers. If they're going to win in 5, it's going to need to be a little bit more Baufield than we've seen so far.
All right, 5th set is up next here on 12 Sports.
This is the moment I knew his future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat?
1 in 5 children struggles with hunger in America. Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Great match so far here tonight. It's very much lived up to billing coming in. Number 4 ranked Wayzata, number 5 ranked Hopkins, and hard to really say who's based on the first 4. I don't know that you could pick a favorite in this 5th set.
You know what, Jay? I'm not even going to feel comfortable picking the winner of this one when Kraus tells us it's over. It's been that back and forth. We don't really know who's got momentum. It's 1 point at a time.
Werner, a good serve to start it out, and Wayzata unable to keep that ball alive, so they get 1-0. And obviously, when you're playing to 15 rather than 25, you know, the building a lead early and things make it a little more different. So got to be really concentrating on every point here. and there's an ace as Wayzata. That's the kind of thing you don't want. You'd rather have two players almost run into each other than two back away.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. Somebody's got to take the leadership, and that typically falls on the libero's shoulders there. So Hagelund's got to take that play.
Berg will get it right back, but Tutt up with the block, and Hopkins on the road starting strong in this fifth set.
We see here Tutt already taking a step, getting over in time, and Berg trying to go cross court into the seam, not open.
And mishandled by Hagelund. They're going to be fortunate to get it over. Here's Martin. That one is blocked. Go right back to her. And not a second time.
Yeah, Martin wanted to hit that ball through the floor on the first one. It gets blocked. We get a recovery here. Lee puts it a little higher, and she goes off of the hands of Greschel down the line. 4-0, early timeout for Scott Jackson's Trojans here. And at this point in the season, I don't know that a loss is good per se, but you learn a lot more. And down 4-0 here, we're going to get gut check time. We're going to see how these seniors respond. How does Kate Berg, Greschel, Ballfield, and the rest get back into this set? Are they going to come together and figure it out, or are they just going to wait for something else to happen? I remember talking to Scott a couple years ago when these three, even though sophomores, were probably the closest thing he had to a trio of leaders, and they weren't ready to answer that challenge yet. In the last year or so, we've seen it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we get a run here from Wayzata.
They come to Berg, and there's maybe the start of a run as she puts the first point up in this fifth set, 4-1.
Good swing there. Line still open.
And Erickson not able to make the pass. Didn't appear to be anything unusual or special with that serve, but just didn't get it squared up, so 4-2.
Erickson, the sophomore, playing 6 rotations, hasn't come off the floor yet tonight.
Lee will come outside to Martin. Here's Baufield swing from the back. Back out to Martin, and we'll put it away.
Martin going from fast to faster at the end there as she's able to flip her shoulders and really get through that ball well.
Ortiz serving with a 5-2 Hopkins lead here in set number 5. Lee dumping it over, and Wayzata cannot respond, 6-2.
Lee smart with the timing of her dumps so far.
Berg tipping to the outside, and Lee and Erickson wind up face to face on the floor facing each other here.
Yeah, that ball has fallen so many times that Lee makes the right play there to turn around and try and get a touch on it, but that time Erickson read it better and may have been able to get that touch.
And Martin, seemed like she took her eye off things there a little bit, and so Wayzata to within 6-4.
Yeah, she does Martin right there is trying to figure out what's open on the other side of the net, takes her eye off the ball and doesn't get back to it in time.
Long run for Lee, but can't get to it.
Good spot.
Greschel to serve. Here's Martin rolling it to the middle. Baufield a dive, and then Greschel a dive, but neither can keep it alive, so Royals go back up by 2.
It's a simple enough ball, but because it's put in a very tough spot, makes it very difficult to make a clean play on it.
Here's Lee. Greschel to Berg, and was moving to her left and couldn't keep that ball in play. 8-5 lead now for Hopkins.
Same thing, we saw Martin make the error in about 3 points ago. Berg taking her eye off the ball, not able to get back to it and put it where she wants it.
Greshel coming to Berg. Almost knocked Werner over, but they keep it alive. Middle for Travis. And a scramble, and Wayzata will get there. To Jasmine Martin, and Baufield not able to dig it out. 9-5, good scramble point there.
Good long rally. At the end here, it's just control. Martin slow to fast at the end again, and she puts it in front of Baufield.
Short floater there. Here's Berg firing away, and Werner can't handle it. It's 9-6.
I like Werner's positioning there as the ball was hit, but she ends up bringing her hips away from the ball instead of attacking it, leading to a dig that doesn't go to anybody.
Lee coming to Erickson, and she finds the opening in the middle of the court. Hopkins first into double digits here, now up 10-6.
Good swing from Erickson. She drops it in front of the libero Hagelin.
Berg, oh, and a nice dig by Ortiz. Werner off the block. Overpass there, but good recovery by Travis to get out there. And it somehow missed that curtain, and then Martin fires away and scores it. Good concentration by Hopkins. Everybody thought it was going to hit the ceiling, but it wound up going over the top of that curtain, and they stayed right with it.
Yeah, we see Martin finally get that back row attack in rhythm the way she wants it, and that's the result we're going to get. Like you said, great concentration from Lee as that ball cleared through the rafters and through the curtain, and good finish there. 11-6. Wayzata gonna need to get back on the horse soon. Trojan's gonna need a side out. I believe we have Baufield in the front row right now, which means Berg's the back row option. I'd commit block Baufield if I'm Hopkins here. Martin gonna make sure she takes care of this toss, puts it in with some pace, and goes after it.
5-point lead, although we've seen leads that didn't hold up earlier in this match, so. Martin with the serve, and Hagelin struggling to play it. Now they'll get it over. Erickson tipping to the middle. Baufield able to get it done as Nelson was kind of on the way down on that block. So an 11-7 score, and Hagelin will serve for the Trojans. Werner, tough ball to reach, but plays it off the block and good for the point.
Werner going inside out on that approach. The only place she can really take this ball is off the block, and Wayzata obliges.
Nelson serving for Hopkins. Greshel, there's Baufield tipping. Werner got there. And then Werner punches it over. First try denied. They'll come again now. This one does hit the ceiling, and they cannot recover, so 12-8.
Second time we've had Lee take the first ball with libero Ortiz off the floor, leading to confusion.
Sheehy will serve for Wayzata. Not much margin for error for them, but they've been in this spot before and come through. Greshel to Baufield and puts it away, 12-9.
Trojans on a push here. Good set to from Greshel to Baufield. Lee kind of comes in and tries to make the play, but the ball catches her up a little high. I don't know if it caught tape or the block or what it was. Lee normally makes that read. 9-12. Trojans trail with the serve in set 5. Hopkins going to need a quick side out here. They got Werner in the front row. Martin's an option out of the back row. I think Erickson is front row as well. They got options. They got opportunities. Wayzata's going to serve tough and try and limit the in-rhythm options that Hopkins has here. Scott Jackson's teams, as we've talked about before, known to be one of the best, toughest serving squads in the state year in and year out. I would expect nothing less than a laser out of this timeout. You know you can't give them an easy ball and allow them to run their offense. Little bit of strut, little bit of swagger from the Trojans as they jump back out onto the court. Like to see that if you're the coach. Hopkins back onto the floor as well.
Sheehy to serve here for Wayzata. To Werner, cross court with it, and will score it as Kovalchuk a little indecisive with the hands there.
Yeah, good rhythm from the setter Lee to Werner, and she puts it away.
Erickson serving here to Baufield, and they keep on coming, 13-10.
If there's any place you want to be as far as rotations go, Wayzata's in it. Baufield with a wicked serve. Berg into the left front position. They got options. They got opportunities.
Martin will have to push it over and give Wayzata a good opportunity here, and they come to Berg, but denied by Tutt. Wayzata, good recovery though. Sheehy didn't expect to get that one, but did. Hagelin will send it over. Here's Berg hammering, but Ortiz was ready. Back for Berg, tipping over the block, and they're within 13-11.
And this is the side out that's got to happen. Hopkins gets this side out. They put Martin back in the front row, and whether you know she's getting it or not, she's still tough to stop. This rotation is where Wayzata's got to push.
Comes deep with the serve this time. Lee will dump it over, and they did not react. 14-11. Match point chance here for Hopkins with Greta Werner serving.
It's a tough ball to dump as Lee's falling away from the net, but she's so strong she's able to put that ball in with some force.
Werner the serve. Here's Berg. Oh, and a net violation on Hopkins. I think they were shocked that Berg didn't attack that ball.
Yeah, Lee jumped expecting the ball to go into her hands, and because Berg didn't hit it, Lee's momentum carried her into the net.
Kovalchuk to serve here for Wayzata, trailing at 14-12.
Three ball.
Here's Martin off the block and good, and Hopkins scores the win on the road here. Pulling out this fifth set, 15-12. No reason to think the fifth wouldn't be close like all the other four.
Yeah, we got a great serve here. Werner handles it well. Martin, knowing that the ball on the pin has been dug recently, decides she's going to adjust. Great adjustment on the block by Wayzata, but Martin able to throw it off the block and out of bounds. Great swing to finish. Great match in five. Glad you were able to hang out with us.
So a 5-set victory for the Royals. We'll come back to hear from them in just a moment. You're watching Lake Conference Volleyball here on 12 Sports.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back here to Wayzata. Wow, what a great match here, especially for so early in the season. Hopkins pulling out a 5-set win over Wayzata on the road, and we're joined by a couple of the seniors that played so well here tonight for Hopkins, starting with Jasmine Martin. And how much fun was this one to be a part of here, back and forth all night like this?
Yeah, it was really fun. It meant a lot for our team to finally be able to fight in a close set like that, so it was nice seeing what we could do in such a close game against a good team.
Big turnaround in that third when you were down 21-13 and came back and won. How much did you guys keep the faith there that you still had a shot on that one?
Yeah, we just knew we had to keep our composure if we were going to come back and do the little things to get us back up in that set.
How big is this for, really, I guess, for both teams to be tested like this, just as it leads into the rest of the season to face those tough ones like this?
It's huge. I think both of our teams are going to go really far in the year this year and probably the state tournament, and I think it was good being able to get a good fight like that.
You guys are still undefeated at this point. How do you feel about the way the team's played overall in these first 6 matches that you've had?
I feel really good. I feel like we're playing team volleyball, and it's early on in the season, so we can only get better from here.
All right, congratulations. Great performance here tonight.
Thank you.
And Greta Werner, your team scrapping back and forth. There were times when they looked like they were in command, times like it looked like you guys were, but how big was this win for your team tonight?
This win was huge. It was kind of like a test for us because the teams we've played in the past, they've tested us, but this was like a different type of competition, and they really fought, and we fought back, and we were able to pull it out.
Back and forth throughout the years, too. Your teams had great matches with Wayzata. Is it a fun one to come out on top, especially on their home court, too?
Yeah, it's always fun because we've played them for so long, and like the girls in their team, we see them so often and in club season. So to get this win, it's really big because it always goes back and forth.
Well, like Jazz said, it wasn't that you haven't played any good teams yet, but you knew this one was going to be a real big test, too, getting into the conference teams and everything. Does that do a lot for your team just to be able to grit this one out, too?
Yeah, this win was really special because it's the first of conference play, so it was like kind of would set the stage for the rest of the season, and I thought we pulled it out well.
All right, congratulations. Nice job here tonight. Have fun the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Greta Werner helping to get things done for Hopkins tonight. Wow, fantastic match we had here. Late conference opener for both teams, and it is Hopkins pulling it out in 5 sets on the road over Wayzata. Well, we hope you've enjoyed this great matchup. For Andy Kugisberg and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night from Wayzata High School.